you need to see through Jesus's. This is part of being the hands and feet of Jesus. You need to see through his eyes. You need to feel what he feels. You need to feel his heart about it, because and there's a lot of, if you're not feeling what he feels, and you can, one of the ways you can tell is if you feel sick about something, or that guilty feeling, like if you're doing something and you feel guilty, that's the Holy Spirit, because he feels sick about it. He doesn't like it. And it's almost like, I mean, I've seen people post photos of, they're showing a picture of Jesus or somebody, shooting drugs in their arm, and Jesus is right behind them, and you're putting it in his arm. Well, that's how he feels. He's going through this life with you, and everything that you're doing, you're making him do. And so he's not going to feel good about it. He's not going to, you can't expect him to accept these things. He's just not. And so anyways, the more I followed, just different things in my life, eventually I was no longer a coward. And that's what I'm talking about with or what he's talking about with the tribulation, is that there's a lot of people that aren't ready because they haven't been following him. And it's those little things that we're doing each day, or practicing, it's like exercise. You can't just all of a sudden go run a marathon and expect to pass, to not pass out in the middle. You have to slowly practice or whatever. And so that's the concern about the tribulation saints. Are they strong enough to walk through the fire when they haven't had any practice? I mean, you have to think, right now, if you're following Jesus, it's a lot easier, because you're not starving right now, you know what I mean? We don't have a famine and pestilence, and we don't have war here, all of these things. And so it's a lot easier to follow him now. But during the tribulation, you're going to have all these frustrations come your way. Like, for example, one major sin is, getting angry, pay attention to your attitude. Every time you have an attitude, it's an area that needs addressed, it needs worked on. And I'm not saying that, we should never get mad or upset or depressed or whatever. But it's an area that we should surrender to the Lord, and he will help you with those feelings, those emotions, and he will show you where it is that's causing these emotions and feelings. That's making what's making you sick. Is it a fear? Where the anxiety is coming from? A lot of times these things are coming from the evil one in our mind. And so